We've come out to the MSPCA. It's a follow-up story, actually. We were here a few months ago, which was just a bit of rubble behind us. Well, it was a work in progress,
Work
Margaret.
in progress, yes, work in progress.
A sensory garden for dogs. I thought it was definitely worth a come back and find out if it's working for them and what you've done.
Yeah, well, PokerStars came up here for 3 hours on that afternoon. You were here earlier in the afternoon.
It was a wild day, wasn't it?
It was. And they managed to paint the fence behind us, all of it, both sides. They did some work on the nature trail, but this was the sort of pièce de résistance.
Oh, very good.
Yes. We've got wood chip, we've got grass, we have all sorts of plants which have been specially chosen because they're obviously not poisonous. Yeah. And it's to give the dogs different experiences because they're in pens and, the staff walk them, but it's not the same. They can bring them out here and let them chill, just wander around and relax. We have a water feature which doesn't seem to be operating at the moment, but it's there. That's the square over there will be a sand pit. We've got, as I said, we've got wood chip, we've got lavender, and it's actually called the Helping Hounds Garden because PokerStars' charity arm, if you like, is called Helping Hands. So they chose the name Helping Hounds, which I like.
Okay, the obvious question is, if dogs are coming here, they're presumably doing their business. How do you keep it clean? It must be a nightmare.
We clean up after them all the time.
Must be a
But
nightmare.
actually, what they do is they take them out of the pens. Along to the end, down through the nature trail, which is down below us.
And hope nature takes its time. Yeah.
And then come back up the steps over there.
Yeah.
And in through that gate. It's all very carefully planned. This hasn't just happened.
Now, as always, you are a charity and needing funds, and that's probably one of our things you like to touch on, looking for sponsors and things.
Absolutely. I mean, PokerStars did the work. PokerStars also provided the goodies. We've got HSBC coming up next week, and they're doing some work to do a cat sensory garden, because we'll have a rabbit sensory garden next. You watch. But, it's great to have things like that. But our biggest problem is, of course, our running costs, which are so high. It's about £1,900 a day at the moment. And a capital project, like this is a capital project, excellent, wonderful, please keep them coming. But also, think about maybe giving us a sort of, a £5 a month, something like that. Our new leaflets, if you want to see them, have things like, aren't I worth a penny? That's 1% of your income. Of your, what do you call it, estate, that's the word I'm looking for. And £2 a month. Give up a cup of coffee and give us £2 a month. And if lots of people do that, it makes a tremendous difference to us.
Pressure's been put on you more, hasn't it? Like the dog warden thing and that sort of thing over time. You've probably been stretched even further these days, aren't you?
The dog warden. And also, we're finding more young dogs coming in because people are taking them on. We've got a few in you'll probably meet later. People are taking them on thinking, aren't they lovely, aren't they wonderful? Yes, they are. But they need training, they need socialising. You can't just take a dog into your life and leave it. So we've one lovely one in who doesn't get on with his owner's other dog. So has to come into us. And that's happening more and more. People are relocating because of the financial situation. People can't afford to keep their animals anymore. One thing that we do that people might not know about is we do fostering. If we have an animal on long-term medication, then we will continue to pay for medication connected to that condition. But they can actually take the dog. And the other thing that we want to do is weekend fostering, so that dogs can go into people's homes. And that's used to being in a home. But it's not only dogs. We've got cats and rabbits as well. People do tend to forget that. I think somebody said to me not long ago at Langness, "Oh yes, you're the second-hand dog's home." Well, I quite like it, actually.
Well, yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, there are too many probably being born into places that can't deal with them. I mean, is that still the sort of focus, is try and get the snip done?
Absolutely, yeah. All the animals that leave here are snipped. Yeah. That's an elegant way of putting it, yes. Are snipped and microchipped. Because, again, we're getting dogs, cats and rabbits in who've been microchipped, but their owners haven't kept the microchip details up to date. So that means we can't trace them. And we're also getting quite a few rabbits who have been found in the wild, and they're actually domestic rabbits, and they won't survive in the wild. I think, again, you'll be meeting one of those later. Domestic rabbits like Florida whites, they can't survive because they don't have the survival skills. So we always say we won't judge If you can't keep your animal, then bring it to us and we will take it if we can. But you also have to understand you can't just stroll in through the door and say, can't cope with my animal, take it. We will if it's an emergency. But we just don't have room. We really don't.
Well, but part of the point being here today, we're recording a series of items which will be running out over the next few weeks with some of the animals here needing good homes. So have a look, and of course, I have to say that some might have gone by the time this is broadcast, but that's just the way it is. But there's always more.
Always be more.
Okay, look out for that.
Another thing is that people often say, oh, well, they only come to you when they have behavioural problems. That's not true. We have some lovely dogs in who are in just because maybe their owners are ill, their owners can't cope anymore. And so give them a chance. And we also have training classes on Saturday evenings, so you can come along to those. That's the commercial over.